Hi, today is July 12th, 2024, and this is a brand new shirt. I swear, I took it out of the package last night. That's a Jonathan Richman thing. Anyway, here are my poems for the day. The first one is poem number 1074 for the year There Was. A wise movie once said, "There will be blood," and yesterday there was. It came out of my arm and into a little tube and filled up a bag. Of course, in another sense, there was always blood. It's just that when I woke up yesterday, all of it was inside of me, and then a few hours later, a pint of it was outside. Poem number 1075, and it's a song, and I guess it's called Let Us, unless I can think of a better title. Let us stick straws into each other's arms and let us drink until we're dizzy. Let us dig spoons into each other's flesh unless you happen to be busy. If you don't have the time for us to fork each other till we're sore, we can fork now for just a bit, and later we can fork some more. So let us serve flesh and our blood to each other if you are willing, if you are able. We both are so thirsty and starved for each other. Let us prepare ourselves for the table. If you don't have the time for us to fork each other till we're sore, we can fork now for just a bit, and later we can fork some more. Let us stick straws into each other's arms and let us drink until we're dizzy. Let us dig spoons into each other's flesh unless you happen to be busy. Unless you happen to be busy. Unless you happen to be busy. Poem number 1076, Mild Desire. Sometimes when I give blood these days and the nurse puts a bandage on my arm and tells me not to remove it for 6 hours, I have a mild desire to tell the nurse, yes, I know about the 6 hours thing. I put it in a song many, many years ago. And then I imagine having a conversation with the nurse about the song, and then I imagine us both being completely covered in noodles and disappearing. Poem number 1077, Reminiscence. I wrote the words to the Blood Song by King Missile, Dogfly Religion, 40 years ago. I know it was 40 years ago because the original first line was, "On Tuesday, May 1st, I donated blood," and May 1st was a Tuesday in 1984. I am also reminded that the following year I had to change the line to, "Last year on May 1st I donated blood," because that year May 1st was Wednesday. And by the time we recorded that song in 1987, I had changed the line to, "I remember the last time I donated blood," and I was full of shame because at that time, May 1st, 1984 was still the last time I had donated blood. In the song, a bowl of chicken noodle soup goes flying and is supposed to land on my head, but I was so stoned when we made the recording that I said the bowl went flying and landed on his head, so the head of the waiter who was delivering the soup to a nearby table instead of my head. It was an annoying error that the producer refused to let me correct because he was kind of a tyrant at times. I was like, but why would I be completely covered in noodles if the bowl landed on the waiter's head instead of mine? But the producer wasn't having it, even though it was his fault, because if his pot hadn't been so good, I probably wouldn't have messed up the words. I'm glad I'm working with a different producer now. And the last poem of the day, poem number 1078, Permitted Alterations. The producer I'm working with now, Stephen Tunney, aka Dog Bowl, gets back from France tomorrow. He is the best producer I have ever worked with. For example, a while back I was recording the lyrics for whatever it was, poem number 191 of this year, and I got to the line because they didn't ever say anything about whatever it was they were doing either. And I didn't like the way I said either. It was too high-pitched and sing-songy and feminine sounding. It was like, either, which in this instance bothered me, and I don't know if Stephen agreed with me, but he let me re-record that single word because he is a great guy and a great producer. So now on the recording, which is forthcoming, I say either in a kind of an overly masculine voice, which is funny to me, but maybe only to me. either, something like that. There are actually two versions of the lyrics. The original version was about a woman and her non binary sexual partner, but because they were a they, it maybe sounds like she's in a thruple or a fourple or whatever. And when I realized that, it bothered me. So I wrote an alternative version where the woman's partner is male, which I performed with different music at the Sky Vault back in March. But now the polyamorous implications of whatever it was don't bother me. So for the new album, I recorded both sets of lyrics, the original version and the alternative straight version, which could maybe be a bonus track or something. If all of this is only interesting to me, I am sorry. I do go on and on sometimes, and fuck me, tomorrow and Sunday I'll be writing 7 instead of 5. All right, that's it. Almost 6 minutes. That's a lot for me these days. Anyway, I appreciate you.